10 seconds.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to View from the Dead Box for the third take.
Red Bar Connection. We'll see how this goes. Fingers crossed. It should still hold the audio.
Yeah, you should be fine.
So,
what's up, dude?
not much, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in a really long time, and it's been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been really fucking long.
You were in Helen this weekend?
I was in Helen this weekend. It was dope. I hadn't been. It used to be a family tradition for us. We literally went probably 20 years in a row, like every Thanksgiving. Like that
Really?
was. And then one year we didn't, and that was like 2016. And then I hadn't been back since then. So it's been 7 years.
Wow,
So
you're a real
it was-
piece of shit.
I know. It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Now,
you
there's
saw
a
my
car show
section.
going up there at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess it was Volks Fair.
Yeah, I
Googled
think it's
it.
where Casey was actually.
Interesting. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was it
Yeah,
was
I
cool.
heard that there used to be a big car show up there every year. One of the queer like stancy shows. I forget what it was
Yeah.
called, but they actually threw those kids out of there last year, the year before, because they were like going bananas in the town.
Yeah, they had a big thing because like when I was up there, I saw some of the stuff. So I was like Googling their stuff because it was nice, man. There's lots of cars that I'm not a big fan of, and there were lots of cool cars too. Like I saw lots
Yeah.
of very nice stuff and then stuff. I'm like, I guess that's cool for you, enjoy it. But they had a big thing, and they were like, please don't let this turn into what the last event turned into.
That's what
So-
happened. Yeah. I forget what it's called. It's not Simply Clean, but it's one of those like big Euro
Yeah.
events, I believe. And like they were just like ruining the town. And they basically, I thought the town kicked them out and said like, you're not coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I knew something had to be going on when we got like within 45 minutes out. I'm driving in my truck in the mountains. I mean, I'm probably doing speed limit 55, maybe 60. I'm not really hauling ass because I don't know these roads. And all of a sudden, this dude in a fucking Porsche 911, like a 90s or 80s or something, older one, blows on by me. And then about 2 seconds later, another one. And I said, there might be a car show around here. Like,
yeah.
and then we pulled in, and it was like traffic wasn't. Have you been there before? Have you ever been to
Oh,
Helen?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So like traffic wasn't backed up yet. And then it was like once I kind of went around like the bend coming in, like it was just like car. And I was like, oh. And then we drove around the back and they were all lined up on the river. And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Man, there were some old like I think they're called VW things. They had a shit ton of those. They're all
Yep.
goofy looking ones.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of old military trucks too, which I mean that stuff to me is cool if we're gonna go like all those small cars. And I even like the old bugs. But yeah, so that was that. So that was this past weekend, the 20th-ish. And the week before that, you guys played a CPXL.
Yes.
How did that go? Because I literally haven't talked to you since. I know how it went, but like,
Yeah. That was so the event in total, I think that was probably the smoothest. And I can't, it's not a CPSL, so I can't call that CPXL now,
Yeah.
right? So that was the smoothest Carolina event I have played. Reffing was really good, very fair all day. Probably the best reffing I've seen, honestly, in some time. Trying to think. You know,
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of the field. I hate Rock Hill just because I feel like it's concrete.
yes.
I wasn't playing this event. I let Jamie have my spot, thank God. But other than that, everything was really well. We really did great as a team on both sides, in D5 and 4.
Yep.
The D5 guys were thrown together very last minute, didn't get any practice together, and had one mistake in one match, which cost them moving on. They went 2-2, and they should have easily went 3-1.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame that they played the way they did, and they came out in the very beginning and 3-0'd the fuck out of these first dudes. I mean, like, embarrassed them. And then I think they went into a second match with their like head on their ass. Sorry, their ass on their head. You know what I mean? Like they were kind of just like in cloud nine because they got their first win and it was a big dub. And I think they took them lightly and they paid for it. The team they lost to was not that good. They were not like better than them at all. And then they played 404 Clown Show, and they got down 0-2. Yeah. and they actually fought back, won 2 points, went 2-2, and then it got down to the point where it was a minute and like 10 seconds or in the clock, and it was like 4-on-4. I'm like, all right. And it got down to like 25 or 30 seconds. It was still like a 4-on-4. So I'm thinking, okay, we're just gonna go for the tie, let it buzz out. Like, that's cool. And then Weston does some wild fucking hillbilly shit. I'm like, oh fuck no. He makes a weird move, which I would have been perfectly fine with way earlier in the game.
Yeah.
But he makes it at the last minute when there's like maybe 15 seconds on the clock. Well, I can't. We're getting the point's not really on him. The point's on Steven going to the corner, getting shot in the leg, playing on, getting a penalty, blowing that whole side apart on 4-4. Now it's a 2-on-2. Weston doesn't know that happened. He thinks there's still 2 guys alive. So he goes to make a move, which even if he made the move clearly, I don't think it would have been enough time.
Yeah.
But he goes through. Since the guy's seen the penalty, they come flying down the outside of the field, on the snake side. And West gets shot because he's trying to make something happen with no time clock. Leaves Alec alone by himself in the 300, which he went off the break into. And there's like literally like 10 seconds on the clock, and then there's like 4-on-1, and he's holding his own, and then they hit the buzzer and shoot him at the buzzer. I'm like, oh my fucking god! If they would have tied that, then it moved on, no problem.
Damn. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So,
it's still good showing, you know what I mean? Considering, like you said, that's a thrown together team for the most part. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're playing with each other, but they're not like with each other.
Yeah, yeah. And the D4 guys, they did very well, considering we took 3 people who just started playing with the team.
Yeah.
Christian, Seth, and Carson. All 3 of those guys haven't really played with the line before, and they all play this event. And we 4-0'd 3 teams, and then had a tie. So we went 3-0-1, went to quarters, played. Who did we play? I don't know. We fucking beat the fuck out of them though.
I love that's how you like explain matches to me, because I don't have it pulled up. Normally I could give you teams and you say, I don't know, we just beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Whoever they were.
You know what the weird thing was, is our last match was against some team named like Atlanta Blazers or some shit. I don't know, whatever. Sure. Yeah, they played out of Banditland, and then they moved. I guess they moved to Classic now or something.
Well, I thought Classic became Banditland
or something like that. I don't know, shithole. But they were playing up there, and Hicks was there. He had a store opened up. He's selling some stuff. So, he came up to me, and he, obviously he knows who we are. We were talking, and he was like, I'm like, who are these dudes? Because I heard some other guys bitching about them earlier, and they were getting fucking kind of slapped around by everybody there. And I was kind of like, I didn't know who they were really. And I watched them play. I wasn't really impressed. I told our guys, this isn't going to be a hard match. It's the last match, the prelims. Just go out and fucking 4-0 these dudes, get the first seed, and be moving on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so go out, play these dudes. Fucking first point, run. And I'm not even running our main squad. I'm sitting Courtney, I'm sitting Kyle, I'm letting Seth, Christian, and Carson get spins like a lot. And they're just running these dudes in the fucking dirt with like our bench guys. We're running these dudes in the fucking ground.
Yeah.
And like I see them walking off. They're getting blown up. And they're walking off, and they're like, there's some like talking, and I'm asking for fucking penalties, right? I'm like, dude, throw penalties, talking, you know what I mean? And I see the third point, maybe I see the guy in the snake, and Alex is there, and he's like, oh, these dudes are pretty cool. He's like, they got a little bit of attitude, but he's like, this guy right here, he's like, he's actually probably the coolest of the bunch. Like, he's super chill, no problem. And like, I'm like, all right, cool. And Alex kind of walks away. Well, later, like probably 30 seconds later, I see this dude shooting a ref at the danger. He's like literally shooting him. And my first thought was, oh, maybe he thinks he can only see like a head over the bunker. Yeah. Okay. The ref steps out and he beams the ref again. I'm like, that's kind of wild, right? So we fucking shit on over this dude, like just dunk his ass, whatever, beat him like 4 bodies up. And I'm like, I hear the refs kind of like talking a little bit. I'm like, that's kind of fucking weird, man. Next point, that was like 2-0. I think we're going to 3-0 on them. And Carson, I think we shoot the guy out of the snake. The guy walks by Carson and either shot Kyle or shot Carson as he was walking off the field. So
Yeah.
our guys turn and just beam this fucking dude as he's standing there, just beam his ass. And he's like running his mouth and they go off the field. And I'm like, these dudes do not want this fucking smoke. Like, this is not like,
Yeah.
you're not about this life. I promise you. And they like walk off and we beat him like fucking 4 bodies again. And the last point, I'm gonna tell our guys, I'm like, every one of these dudes you fucking shoot, walk them off the field. Like, just shoot them into the fucking dirt. Shoot them in literally until they turn around and put their hands up. Shoot them again. So we were just fucking roast. We beat them 4-0, like just like literally embarrassed them. And I go up to who did I go to? Oh, Alex is like, it's so crazy. I didn't think this match would be this way. And I'm like, okay, well, I had watched these guys play earlier. They were kind of like playing that way anyways. They're kind of like shitbags, And I heard other guys bitching about him. Well, I went right to fucking Dan, the ultimate of the series, because he's not reffing anymore. He's running the series.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, hey man, this player right here, I just walk on the field. I'm like, this player right here was blatantly shooting fucking refs across the field. And he's like, who is it? I'm like, De Jesus right here, this dude right here. And he's walking to the net. They walk right up to him, snatch his fucking ID card. I'm like, you're done. Don't come back here.
Fuck him. I get doing it.
Yeah.
Like, but blatantly doing it again and again and again and again. Shooting a ref because he's been a dick earlier.
The problem is that like that wasn't the first time they did it. They shot the fuck out of the refs on the other field too, and they couldn't pinpoint it. But then they took my word for it because me and Dan, like, I have no reason to lie to Dan from the and I'm like, hey, and I didn't know about the past times. So I went to him, was like, this dude here was shooting your fucking refs, and the refs like, yeah, we didn't know who it was when we were getting shot. And they're like, this is the third match we've got shot today. And the other refs got fucking lasered as well, all from them. I'm like,
that's fucking insane. I bet you love doing that.
Oh yeah. I'm like, get shit on, dude. So of course Alex is like, damn, the one guy I stick up for, he's talking about that De Jesus guy. He's like, the one guy I stick up for, he's like, ends up being the dude walking off, shooting people and shooting refs. I'm like, yeah, I fucking bet.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Some of these players go really far back,
Yeah.
This area, like we say, geographically challenged, but it's a close community. Everyone knows someone. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows everybody.
Because I'll say he did give us, I don't know if you follow his Instagram with his I-75 paintball. He did give us a little shout out when we took third.
We had a great match. We played the Kings for semis. Yeah. And had a great match with those guys. They played really good.
They took second or first?
First. We lost first points. Went in second point, won the second point with like little time to spare. We just went into overtime. And the most fucked up thing was we wouldn't even be in that situation first. Was the first point we lost there? I think it was. First point we lost, we shouldn't even lost. We were up a body and Brandon is in the X. And everybody knew there was an X besides Jamie. Everybody called Monster. Every single person, Monster. They all knew it. And Shane launches up on the inside and goes, Jamie, can I go and dunk the fucking Monster? Can I go? Like, he just wants to go get him and cancel him out because we're already up a body.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, no, hold up. So he holds him. So Shane's like, okay, he sits back, he's waiting. The Monster leans out, wraps around the X because nobody can shoot him. He shoots fucking Evan and then runs up and then dunks fucking Shane. I'm like, there you go. Yeah. You should have let Shane just fucking go through. And I was pissed off yelling at Jamie. And Jamie's like, oh, I didn't know there was a Monster. Everybody goes, we all yelled Monster. He says, well, I didn't confirm it. And everybody's like, we confirmed it. Like, we all yelled it.
Well,
like,
and Shane said he was going to go dunk him. Like, I told you I was going to go stick.
Yeah.
Like,
Jamie wanted to physically see the guy before he just sent Shane through to his death. But the problem was everybody was calling Monster. Like, they all physically knew he was there. If he goes through, boom, dunks the Monster, other guys are fucked because we already have a guy in the Viper and a guy in the fucking, and Jamie's about launching the Danger. That's game over.
Yeah, that's Shane makes that move, and that literally lets those other two guys.
Oh, God, yeah.
Shane was there, kills him. Maybe he survives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shoots one other dude. Then it's like, oh, you're really fucked. Or he doesn't. He kills that guy, and then Jamie.
But now the guy comes through, shoots Evan, and dunks. So instead of just canceling him out, you went with a -2 on your side. Yeah, that's nice. So we lose that point down to like a one body situation. Lost that point. The guy comes to dunk Kyle. Kyle shoots him. This pick, by the way, was fucking marbles.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll come back to the paint situation in a minute.
Okay.
Anyways, shoots a guy. They stand up, and the guy stands up like he's been hit. Yeah. But Jamie thinks he's in a 1-on-1. And like literally 20 seconds later, the guy shoots Jamie in the side, and Jamie's like, "What the fuck?" Like thought the guy was out, and he's like, I seen the guy stand up, and I seen Kyle shoot him. I thought they were dead, like they traded, like they wrapped the fucking bunker and killed each other. Kyle shot him, bounced off.
God dang, that's
Yeah, it's just the way it
wild.
works. Well, anyways, it gets down. Next point, we get another close point, and then Evan makes a crazy ass move down the snake side because we're up on bodies and runs down, shoots two dudes, and runs over. Instead of hitting the buzzer, turns, shoots the last guy, and then hits the buzzer with like 6 seconds on the clock. I'm like, Evan, if you would have fucking missed that shot and not hit his buzzer, we would have had a problem. So we go to OT. And I literally, so for the game starts, I'm like, hey, we're gonna take a bite here. I'm gonna send Jamie right in the 300. I'm like, and caution the fucking monster. They played it earlier a lot, and they didn't play it second. They played it first point, didn't play second point. They're probably going here at third point. Like they're gonna go. Damn sure enough, goes right in the Viper, or right into the monster. I'm like, no big deal. I got the game plan for it. I know he's there.
Yeah.
Like I know what he's sitting for. And he sits there and then ends up wrapping around. And I don't know how the shot this was, but he wraps around the center because you really can't see him unless you're looking inside. Shoot Shane out of home. Don't ask me how that shot is there. I don't know how that shot even came, but blast Shane. He's like sitting down and leaned all the way back. Bob gets roasted. I'm like, you fucking idiot. I'm like, I told you, caution the fucking monster. We knew it was playing, and then it gets down to low by situation, and then they ended up winning. Props to them.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Yeah. Jamie shot Dylan like 2 bunkers away, right in the fucking head. This paint, I'm telling you, you could throw it at fucking concrete bricks, and it would, it's bad.
God, that's concussion material.
Oh, it was bad. It's bad. And we had so many bounces. They were coming up talking about the bounces. It's just fucking dog shit. Well, anyways, let me play Clutch Red or something. Yeah, Red. So they took like second or third of the first event, and we wore their ass out. I think we beat them like 3-0 or something like that in the finals.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I guess it would be finals.
Yeah.
Third, fourth, yeah. We had them keyed up. We beat them like 2-0 and then just sat in our guns and then beat them like 3-0. Like it was bad.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Like I was watching obviously the APBA, and then I was like, oh fuck yeah, like they're doing, like I was super excited for the D5 guys. Like, oh, they're doing solid, and then they weren't. And then I was like watching you guys, and I'm like, oh, they did solid all day, like 20-ish.
We went like 21-5.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it was like 20-ish. And I was gonna say less than 5. I was like, that's fucking wild. Like, and it's crazy.
You lose less than it's crazy that you lose less than 6 points.
Yes.
And you don't win the event.
Yes. Well, that's what I was just ready to say. It's like, imagine like what the Kings record is. You know what I mean? Like theirs is gonna be comparable to that, but it's like, and then they won. So it's like all your top 4-ish teams have similar records on the day.
We were going to be playing. Gridlock played for second and first, second, and I would have loved to match up against them that day too. I'm like,
it sounds like y'all were fucking hot all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Like just, and not even. I was gonna say mistakes, but not even really mistakes. You know what I mean? Like that play with Shane, if that goes the other way, but that's really not a mistake. You know what I mean? It's Jamie should have listened to everybody else is what should have happened, but it's not a incorrect play on his part by any means. But dude, that's fucking awesome. So what's the other big paintball topic going on right now?
Oh, well, no, it was, we'll go back to the paint.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the paint.
So, I didn't pre-order paint. I tried to the week of, and the button was there, and anyways, it wasn't allowing me. And he said it locked when the rosters locked, which rosters weren't locked because I made additions on the rosters, and paint was still pre-ordering. That wouldn't let me pre-order. So we get there, so we're already kind of paying a pretty penny for the paint. So I'm a little ticked, but ultimately it's on me. I should have, I guess, pre-ordered 6 million. And one thing I disagree with, and I'll talk to Steve about it, is how the pre-order system works.
Yes. Is it the same as it normally is?
Yeah, I have to pre-order the amount of cases I'm going to total shoot.
Yes.
I don't want to pre-order 40 cases of paint and we only get knocked. We only shoot 20.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to pre-order 15.
Yeah, 15,
20,
whatever it is. Yeah.
And it'll lock me at that price for the rest of the event. It's kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm like, damn, dude. So we get up and I'm like, well, we'll buy a 4-star. We'll pay the little extra, we'll buy a 4-star. First day, we pull 4-star. We get 6 cases. Out of the 6 cases, 4 of the cases are different shells. One's a red and purple shell. One's a solid pink shell. One's the some neon yellow shell, and then one's a green shell with writing all over it. I'm like, every one board different. You know how I am about boring my paint. I'm really fucking anal about that. So I'm like, some shit was super small, was huge. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. So I'm like, whatever. So when that's done, we start pulling another skid of 4, 2 more shells of paint, a solid pink shell of paint, and a blue shell of paint. Granted, every fill is different. Every bore is different. There is 6 separate shells of 4-star there.
I have separate fucking batches.
Yes, I have no fucking clue how this shit, because the blue shot great. It was nice and fragile. The pink shot really fragile, and it was good. And there was one more. The red and purple, I think, was good. The yellow with writing was like concrete. The green was hard as bricks, and there was the other one that I said earlier. The green with writing on it. I think the yellow is a bright yellow, a green with writing, and then the dark traditional original dark green that always comes out. Those 3 were fucking terrible. The other weird ass colors, they all shot amazing.
Wow.
So then we ended up fucking shifting to I think another paint towards the team colors at the end of the day, and that shot straight, but it was way harder, like bricks. So we go to the next day. I'm like, all right, let's pull 4-star, and it was 2 shells, not 7. And then we got to the second batch, and we ran out of fucking 4-stars, only team colors. Then we're just pulling team colors and shooting that. And the rest of the day, I'm forced to buy that, and it's fucking awful. It's like just fucking terrible, dude. I'm like, God, we were shooting the fuck out of people, and it just bounce. I'm like, oh my God. Just like sometimes you don't get lucky.
Yeah.
You shoot the guy 3 times, bounce off, and he fucking shoots you in the hopper, whack, and that doesn't bounce off. So I'm like, God damn, dude. I'm like, just one of those days.
On Sunday, were you getting the same mix of shells, or by then was it all kind of like one?
I just fucking billet hoppers.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, if I'll call him back. Say it again. Oh, Sunday, I got two types of shells.
2 types of shells.
Yeah.
At least that's better, I guess. But if they were still shit, that's crazy to me. And it's like some of that paint was probably old as fuck, and then some of it was probably fresh-ish.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how old that is. I've never seen 6 batches of paint before.
Yeah, I know that's crazy. I've never either.
Come a Sunday, the whole entire truck was gone, and they were pulling paint from the field itself, like up in the field's warehouse. They were out of everything. I'm
I ain't
like,
no telling how long that's sat up there either.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just get paint here, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
do we need to run to Dick's? Oh, no, we're good. You still got some?
Yeah, I was like, fuck, dude.
That's fucking crazy. At least it was other than that, like a good event. Yeah,
it ran super well. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good for them because like they've had some good events. They've had some event. I say them, everyone knows what I mean. CPSL versus CPXL. I am comparing them as one, whether they are or not, whatever. But
yeah.
So what's the other big thing happening with paintball right now?
Probably the Latin Saints thing, right?
I would say it's the Latin Saints thing. Can you say you're surprised?
No, I cannot.
No, okay. I don't think anybody is. Did you think they would go a full season, or did you think that it was going to happen as quickly as it did? I guess
I thought it would go one season and the money would run out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, you saw some of those notes, I'm sure. I wish I knew what players got paid what. Like, you can easily figure that out. Who
everybody knows that fucking Goldman's the most paid player on the field.
Yeah, well, I know that.
He can't even do podcasts or interviews without getting paid. So
true.
And then who was there? I mean, they had Spica would probably be their 2, right? Or
I would say Spica. That's what I was when I was looking at this. I got to pull it back.
Yeah, I kind of want to look at their total roster. They had Alex as well, right? Rodriguez.
Yes.
He was probably getting paid a pretty penny. Let's see.
Because somebody somewhere in one of our million fucking group chats. Oh, there's their press release, but there are these. There they are. Oh. Yeah, so let me pull up.
I got it right here.
As well.
All right, so the main roster would have been Corey Hall, Alex Goldman, Diego, Alex Rodriguez, J-Rab, Spica. I'm just doing the big players. And then so that's probably about it, really. and then Carlos Cortez. So I would say you're probably your three highest paid players on that team would have been a Goldman as one, J Rav is probably two, Spica as three, Rodriguez as four. But this is all hearsay, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are probably your top four players. And then
that's some of these players. I'm looking at the thing where it was like player one got 50K, player two 29, player three 10. Player four, basically 22. Player five, 18. Player six, 3K.
And isn't that per event, right?
Well, that was what I was going to ask. I thought
it says per event. I think somewhere it says per event.
It might. I read these when it was first happening, but I understood it as like I thought like whoever player one. Let's hypothetically say that was
Goldman.
I thought he was like 100K salary for the year.
Yeah.
So he only got 50K, or do you think that 50K was like a bonus on top of his 100K?
Yeah, I don't know how they had this worked.
I'm curious.
If you listen to how the guy was saying it, he was trying to like do it through Visa gift cards.
Yes, I was gonna go to those. What would you do? I mean, granted, I worked for a good company. I know you work for a good company, so I don't think we'd ever have to get paid Visa gift cards. What would you do if, as an adult, not like a child, someone was like, "Here's your paycheck," and it's, I don't know, $3,000 worth of Visa gift cards? Would you just look at them and laugh? I think I would. I don't think I could take them seriously.
Yeah, it's just so weird. I don't know how you approach that situation in general.
It's like getting paid under the table where the dude hands you the cash in an envelope. Instead of cash in an envelope, it's a fuck ton of Visa gift cards.
God.
Because that was what I thought about it was. So I used to work in the jail. I know I disappeared from camera. I'm scratching my toe. They would do a scam with Visa gift cards with the
inmates.
Yeah. So that was like the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, what are they obtained all these Visa gift cards? Like, because the whole thing is super sketch. But and who's their coach? Brandon Short's their coach, correct?
Yeah.
I would like to know. Yes. I want to know his brain.
Yeah.
I want
to know the coaches in general in the sport. I mean, it's probably really none of our business. But in the NFL and other major sports, what because you're getting paid.
I go back and forth because it's the same thing. Like that you do. You know what? Everybody gets paid except like obviously paintball is not those numbers. Not even close. Like it's peanuts compared to most of those players. But it would be. Cool.
I mean, okay, so we'll do it this way.
Okay.
Did you see my talk in chat like this weekend or earlier? We were talking about, I think it might have been when was it? What's it, Monday? Yeah, it was like Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday actually. I was talking, if you pull it up, I was talking to Christian and Kyle about the whole Latin Saints thing. Kyle sent the three things about it, and then we started talking about how I think it can be treated as a real sport, and then that would be different. We're talking about pros being played,
like the dieting and everything else was like
So my thing was that is and I still firmly believe this: if money, quote unquote, was introduced in the sport, like legit real money, right? A lot of these pros would be just like meh, like random bums, because a lot of these pros, some are athletes.
Yes.
But a lot of these guys are just average fucking bums. Like I see a lot of these dudes and I'm like, you're fucking a slob. You know what I mean? Like, not saying they're not good players. They are great players. Yes. But people like, trying to think of just a random looking, if you ever seen Sam Monville, he's like dad bod fucking 2022. Like that's what he looks like. Not an athlete. Corey Field, right? Amazing players, not athletes. But and I've always said this. I'm always like, if you put down millions of dollars, right, you'll get a legit athlete that'll look at the sport and go, oh, I can train to do that. That's not crazy hard. And then it's like training a monkey with a gun. You know what I mean? You would just have them train every single day, all day, because it's their job. Shoot run and gun, shoot, run and gun, shoot, run and gun, snap, shoot, and just do it. Literally, they wake up at fucking 6 o'clock, whatever, go to the gym, work out for 2 hours, go to the field, practice for 4 hours, go back to the gym. And this is literally their job. If you have dudes that do this, like look at the Russians before when that's what the Russians did to a certain extent. They were fucking bums. They were just random ass dudes who got sponsored by the Bank of Moscow and started playing, and money got involved, and you were getting random ass guys who were getting paid to do that for their job. And then they were like amazing.
Yep.
And they were
For
back
years.
then, they were random ass dudes, just random bucket. Nobody ever heard of these dudes. And they were like, these guys are pro. You're like, what? Yeah. That's what happens when you say, hey, here's a $500,000. This is your job now.
Yep.
Go be good. And then they just
go be
train
good.
every single day. Not like some college kids who go have a good time and go out with their buddies and drink on the weekend who have natural talent. No. We're talking about a prime athlete that can run a fucking 4.4, 4.3, 40. You know what I mean? Who can run with gear on, who run and gun 100 times a day. It's what they do. You know what I mean? And like if you introduce that into the sport and there's legit coaching, getting a legit coach money, you'll have like personal trainers, you'll have correct diets, and you'll see the sport, all those dudes who are there now because they can either shoot a nasty lane or have a really good snapshot, but they're not fast enough to play the snake or play the fucking one on the attacker side. No, you will literally have a bunch of fucking stud athletes that can play anywhere in the field. They can all play the snake. They can all play the Dorito. They can all play the front. They can all play home. They can play anywhere in the field. That's what you want. You want 5 dudes who can play anywhere in the field whenever you need to. That's ultimately what you need. And if you put money in the sport where that is there, all these dudes who have been playing for 20 years will be G2 players.
For sure.
They'll get knocked right the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Now, I would be interested. I don't know how you would do this either. And they do it in the gaming where I'm not going to say the crowdfunding to get the money, but like if instead of giving players, obviously these players don't get big salaries. So throw that out the window. But instead of giving players salaries at all, if they made them play just for prize money, do you think that would change how they treat themselves now? Like if they had a chance where these players could actually win, like instead of what's his face having a 100K salary, if that 100K salary was just put into a prize pool somewhere, and then the other play, you know what I mean? Like if you took and then let them divide it up that way, do you think that would make them train as well? You get what I'm saying? It's not crowd, it's moving how the money is dispersed. So if you're a good team, you guys could be making good money, but if you're a shitty team, you make fucking nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? You think that would drive the better players to the top as well? Because it would be a training thing?
No, I think it would be like 5 or 6 really good teams, and you would have all the super guys like join teams, and everybody else would be bums. And then
that's similar to how like Call of Duty
would kill the sport off.
Okay, so, I was just curious. That's how like Call of Duty was, and then it was like when they did their franchise league, they like had a minimum 50K salary requirement per rostered player, and then it was like they lowered the like prize pool. And I was always like, what if you did? I don't know if it would work. I have no idea. But I was like, if you did the opposite, like you took out paintball salaries and that money was thrown into a pot, or maybe they get something, whatever, but cut it in half or however. And then it was like, oh, but we have a chance to win this much at each event. Would that make them train how you say to win that money? I don't know. It's just something I've kind of thought about. I have no idea if it would work. And like you said, it could kill the sport, but it's just something.
I think you'd have like 7 or 8 or probably like 5 or 6 insanely powerful power teams.
Yeah.
And everybody else would be kind of like just fucking cannon fodder.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, they just get trains ran on them the whole time.
It'd be fucking fun to watch though. You'd be like, wow.
It'd be great to watch.
Wow, Baltimore Revo really is that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you would see the difference between you have 5 Ryan Greenspans on a team. Like, you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Wouldn't that be wild? Like
it would, but it'd only be 4 good teams. Everybody else would be like, meh. You know?
I don't know, because that's like when Call of Duty was doing their thing. I was like, oh, paintball should do the opposite, just to see what happens. Like one season, like one of those things, like, hey, everyone put your money in a pot and let's just split it up evenly. But do that for like all these coaches. Just throw all their money. We host, I don't know, 3 big events, then 1 like mega big event. And then that's the prize pool for the year. Like,
but the problem is how the players getting money to survive.
Yeah, you gotta. There's semantics. You gotta maybe have a part-time job here and there. There's
Oh,
details to
okay.
work
So
out.
that's basically what a lot of these pros are doing now.
Yeah.
They're doing part-time jobs, right?
Yeah, but then they can win one big season, and that part-time job is cut out.
Debatable, because then you have
I
to keep
mean,
playing forever, right? The whole point about going
they just
pro,
gotta. Then you can train to win again.
yeah. Well, I always hear that it's like a lot of these guys that we've known that have either went pro and are just ass that play for pro, and they just wipe the pro guys nuts off in the pits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's just pro. It's like yeah, but not really though. I'm like,
Yeah.
I make like 3 times as much money that guy does in a year.
And don't have to throw it out and play a big event.
Yeah. Like that's great. Like that dude's a pro. Like that's awesome, dude. I'm happy for you. Like
It looks
do you
cool
have
on
to
your
show?
resume, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. Actually,
Yeah.
probably not.
In 5 years, when your body can't play anymore at the pro level, what are you gonna do? Oh, okay, yeah. I just thought so.
That's funny.
I don't know.
My
it's
company's
it's
always
kinda
higher.
weird.
But
But
yeah.
when the sport gets money, you'll see it'll be a lot better off.
Yeah, it's just getting
But
the money
where
back
the money
out.
gonna come from? Because if you hear fucking Tom and all those guys talk about the NXL, they act like it's impossible and it's never gonna happen because it costs whatever he said, something insane like $2 million to run an event or something crazy like that. Which it could. I have no clue. I don't know. But that's what he always says. He says that it's cost $3 million to run this damn event and da 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 da. And you guys think we got all the money? And I'm like, yeah, I damn sure do.
How's our event coming along? How many teams do we have signed up? If you want to talk about that.
I'm good. I have
Okay.
10 teams right now locked in.
it.
Yeah, already. So should be good.
And I'm sure we'll have a handful. And that's still June 4th, correct?
Yep, 2 weeks.
Fuck yeah. Are we obviously it's gonna be blind layout? Are we gonna make one, or are we gonna when I say make, are we gonna find like one from a couple of years ago and throw it up there, or is it gonna be truly blind?
If I make one, it's gonna be something wild.
Okay.
Like it's something different, not been used before. I'm almost considering running the Philly layout on it because it drops that Thursday.
Yeah, I mean that would be fair to me. That's still blind.
And I think my only thing with that is some guys are like, whoa, what if another team sets it up and goes and plays a couple days? It's like, I mean, they could do that.
Yeah.
If you want it that bad, I understand. You could do that. That's fine. I guess it's not fair to everybody, but I don't want to also because I have a couple of teams already asked me they want to come and play, but that's the first weekend of the Philly layout practice. So a lot of those guys have to go to the field and have to play the Philly layout practice. You know what I mean? It's like, but they're like the prices for the event are not that much more than a practice. Yeah. They're like, we could just come to your play and have a big scrimmage and play points on the Philly layout if it's there. Because the Wreckers asked me about it, and I said, they said the only reason we're kind of not debating on coming is because it's the first weekend of the Philly layout, and we kind of want to play the layout. And I'm like, yeah. I said, let me talk to the guys and see what we think about doing the Philly layout, because it is technically even because it does drop that Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it is.
Yeah, probably Wednesday, but yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Either way, if you do something wild or that, in my opinion,
I don't go Philly. I'm doing something fucking bananas.
Yeah. Let's go fucking bananas. I mean, not first time making a layout, but first time in a long time, and then we'll get to see people play on something you created, some madness.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I probably do.
Yeah, I mean, just because we did say, to me, that does qualify as a blind layout. Technically, you know what I mean? Like it was not put up a week before. I would have no problem with someone saying blind layout, and then 3 days before they drop the layout. To me, that's okay because 98% of teams aren't going to have it up.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't even mind.
And it's on a Saturday, so so it'd be different on Sunday. You can go somewhere and play that layout on Saturday. But since it's on Saturday, it's a little bit different.
And I don't mind us, and this is up to you. It's totally your call. Releasing the layout for us the Friday night. You know what I mean? And
yeah, for sure. We'd have to lay out Friday.
But well, cool. Did you have anything else, good sir?
I think that's it, man.
I think so too. I guess I'll take us out of here. I'm still looking at this Latin Saints roster, which kind of just cracks me up. But thanks.
The rest of the season, fuck boys.
It is something else. But yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Buy merch, not buy merch. I haven't signed merch. I've said that past 3 weeks. We skipped last week. We'll still go to every other weekend, but we'll probably skip. We'll just start going every other week from now on. So that actually puts us on an opposite schedule of the Center 50 podcast. So that'll be good. So there'll be a different podcast every week since they do every other. So that kind of works out well. But yeah, thanks for listening, watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later.